So I've got two new pieces for you to have a go at. Hoping that you're still practicing through your grade 2 pieces as well and your scales. Okay, so the first one is African Dance, and the first thing to note in here is the key signature. You've got a B flat here, so obviously I'm looking for any B flats. There's one in that first bar. In the left hand it comes in the chord here. In the right hand there's a couple on the first line as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take just 2 lines at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to start with that left hand because the chords take practice just by themselves, really. So your first chord is F, B flat and D with 5, 2 and 1. It starts on the 4th count and it also starts with a staccato count as well, or note. Okay, so I'm going to count in 3 beats first. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you settle on an F major chord. F-A-C. Now that chord is tied for the whole bar, 4 beats plus another 3. So you will need to do some counting, although the right hand will fill in a lot of that counting, but it's good practice just to do the counting anyway. And then you're repeating that staccato chord and back onto that F chord again. And again, 4 beats plus an extra 3, very long chord. Okay, now at the end of the line here, you've got your first shift really of fingering. So finding this next chord is not easy, it takes a bit of practice. It's E, G and C, and so you need to take your 4th finger to the E, the 2nd finger to the G, and the thumb is still on the C as it was. All right, so you're moving from that chord to that chord, and it's quite quick because it's only 1 count and it's the staccato chord, and it moves straight onto bar 5 with a new triad, we call it, chord 1, 3 and 5 chord. Okay, so I'm going to take all those chords up to just the beginning of bar 5, and I'll do the counting as well and suggest that you do the counting when you practice it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, so that will take a bit of practicing. It only comes up once in the music, that section of chords, but practice it in timing. And the right hand has more of a melody on the first line, and then the left hand has the melody on the second line. It is syncopated. You've got ties over bar lines, same in the left hand. Okay, so again, counting is really very important in this. So the counting is on the music, so when I scan it and send it to you, the counting will be there to follow. So I will count it exactly as I've written it on the music. I'm just going to count in from the beginning of the bar. I'm not going to count the upbeat because the right hand isn't playing anything there. So I'm just going to start dead on the first beat of the first whole bar. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and tie, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2. So again, I'm just stopping the beginning of bar 5. Okay, so you've got to hold that tied note. Make sure you don't rush onto the second beat. Make sure you feel it strongly. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. All right, and that happens twice. Then you've got 2 quavers and a staccato crotchet with the thumb and the 3rd finger, or 3 and 1, like that. Okay, so you've sort of got 2 little sections there. You've got that first section and then that little bit, and they each go across the bar. Okay, that's partly, I think, the nature of the upbeat. Then again, you've got that little section, and then that little group of notes belongs to the next chord as well. Okay, so the chord that you finish on with your 1 and 2 fingers is F and A, and just like the left hand had tied notes, the right hand this time has tied notes. Okay, so let me just do that right hand again, counting in from the beginning. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and another 3. Okay, now this chord here is not too bad to find because the F is common to both, so the thumb stays where it is. Your third finger was already playing B flat, so you've got to play it here as well. And then the D, the 5, should be almost there anyway. So you've got to really move your hand. It's just finding that chord. And then I would use 1, 2 and 4 on this next chord. So I'm just going to write that in for you. Rather than moving the 5 around, just keep the 5 on the D. The 4 is already on the C next door. So it makes sense just to go to that fingering, and that chord is tied for 2 whole bars. Okay, excuse me. So I'm going to try it now with both hands together, but you know the drill, that you need to really learn it hands separately thoroughly first. Take as long as you need to learn it hands separately before you try it together. But I'll just show you how it fits together. So this time we're going to count in from the beginning with 3 beats first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2. Because I realise now I've played it without doing the left hand on the second line. That wasn't very clever. All right, so let's do that now. So you're starting with the chord at the beginning, okay? Now you're changing your hand, moving it slightly, so your second finger's on D and your thumb is on F, okay? And we've got the same rhythm as the right hand. So sort of one little rhythm there, and then the next rhythm, including that minim, is a second chunk of rhythm there. So we're just going to count in 2 beats before I come in. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Now take the second finger to B flat, and this low note here is an F. Then you have to bring the hand back up again, third finger to D, and again shift the hand up so the thumb is on A, and I would just finish on that first note of bar 9. Because again, that rhythm there belongs with that minim. You can't really stop. It needs to move on to arrive at where it needs to be. So use the F there to help that as well. So let's do all that left hand again. This time I'll play the chord on those first 2 beats. Okay, 1, 2, move. 1, 2, move again. Oops, 1. Again to D, move again to A, and finish on the F, okay? The only other challenge with this, when you do put it hands together, if you do at the moment, is that you're moving the chord, but in the other hand, you're often joining notes while you're doing that. So be very careful not to interrupt the other hand, all right, by making breaks and stops in that hand. This has got to move independently of what the right hand is playing, and the same the other way around on the second line. So if I just take that second bar, that chord is tied, the C is tied. Now I go to A. Now while I'm playing this little bit here, I'm lifting the left hand chord, but I'm not letting go of that A because I want to join it back to the B. Let's just put those tied notes down. I'm just playing bar 2, A, B flat. So lift the left hand, both staccato there. Okay, same thing happens there. So just be careful. And then the difference here is that the right hand is moving, but the left hand at that vital point, the left hand is doing that slur. So those notes need to be joined up. So again, watch out there. So let's just pop that chord down and that tied C, which would be my third finger. And then I'm going to play on with the left hand to A, then the the B flat. Now while I'm doing the slurred note, I'm lifting the right hand. They both end staccato there, but I didn't interrupt that flow. Let's put those tied notes down again. That's the third finger. Okay, so A. Right, so that's just two little bits there. Well, it's three. 1, 2, 3 to watch out for.